Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, and you know what that means. It is Trivia Tuesday. I'm very excited to get to it. But before we do, we have a Monday Night Football game to recap. We've got a few things I want to talk about quite shortly. And a very exciting news, I've got a giveaway going on. Okay, and it's directly linked to this video. So, don't go away, because it's coming. I'm going to explain that as we get a bit into this. But for Monday Night Football, we had Packers-Raiders, okay? Raiders come out with the win. Very exciting game. It really did kind of end up coming down to the wire with the Raiders up 4 in the final few seconds. And what's really interesting about this is just how poorly the Packers ended up playing. With 3 turnovers, 3 picks, Jordan Love did not look his best. Only I think he had like 129 yards. I would not have expected him to do that poorly, but unfortunately, that's just kind of what happened. The Raiders looked very good. Jacoby Myers looked very solid. Obviously, Devontae Adams looked open every single play. Jimmy G did enough to get him the win. That's kind of his MO. And the biggest thing was Max Crosby was in the backfield every single play. Did not matter what the case was. Was it a run? Was it a pass? Didn't matter. He was back there disrupting whatever the Packers had going on. So that is something to look forward to going forward, just like how our team's going to play Max Crosby. Can they stop Devontae and Jacoby Myers? As a Patriots fan, I don't know why we let him leave the Patriots facility at all. We should have just let him sleep there. Just keep him in a Patriots uniform. But regardless, he went and joined a Patriots great, Josh McDaniel. I don't know what's going on in the Patriots camp, but that's not what this is about. We're talking about the Monday Night Football game. Now, obviously, Packers not in the ideal situation post-Rodgers here, right? We know that they would have liked to have been obviously they'd like to have been undefeated, but the Raiders, I've said this before, they're just capable of being in every single game. I don't know what it is, but they just love to stay in games, keep it within 1, maybe 2 scores, and they look unbelievable. Speaking of that ability of the Raiders to stay within 1 to 2 scores throughout the entire game, I almost always pick the spread on them. And that segues me into my little tangent here. You can see up here above my little logo, well, today's thing, and then to the left of my logo, Joey came in and put his picks on the board just for you guys. Joey somehow manages to basically go undefeated, positive every single weekend in gambling. Does he give us all of his picks? No. But you do have access to some of those. Let's break those down really quickly. So, we've got his picks. I hope you can see them. They're orange. They're not exactly easy to see, but I'm sure you can see them in some capacity. So, he's got his picks written down, and then if he has the team underlined, they're going to be combined into a money line parlay. Chiefs, Commanders, Dolphins, Eagles, 49ers, Raiders, Lions, Bills. And then these two here, he's got Colts plus 4.5 and Titans plus 4.5. And underneath of those, he has the opponent written in maroon. What does that mean? Well, he told me, as per the source, he likes the Colts to cover but the Jags to win. He likes the Titans to cover but the Ravens to win. So something to keep an eye on as we go into this week 6 of NFL football, which is actually crazy. I have it literally written down right there. It's already week 6. What are we doing? I'm a little sad. We're flying through the NFL season so fast, but the NHL does start tonight, and I believe we will be bringing an NHL aspect to the show. So if you have anything you want to see, please put it in the comments below or tweet at me. My Twitter is in the description, and I can put it right here. Boom. I can do that. But we will probably be talking about some NHL on the show. Now, it is week 6. My picks will be coming tomorrow. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Myself, Cole, and Redbone will all be in studio. We'll be making our picks. Very exciting, obviously. Enough of a tangent. My first takeaway, if you haven't seen that, go back to Monday, from the Packers-Raiders game is the Packers probably aren't going to win the NFC North this year. They just don't look as a complete of a team as the Lions do. I like the Lions a lot more. I think the Raiders are a valid team. They're not going to win the AFC West. Obviously, the Chiefs are there. The Chargers are there. Interesting fact about the AFC West, the Broncos quarterback, Russell Wilson, who everybody knows, actually has better statistics than Patrick Mahomes through week 5. So, anyways, yeah, it was a fun game to watch. I myself, this is the segue, the little point I wanted to make. So, I want to talk about fantasy football on this show. I don't know anything about it. I don't want to talk about starts and sits. I don't want to talk about which players should you get on the waiver wire. None of that. I don't know how to do it, okay? I have my own team, okay? And I was going to bed last night, and I was laying down, and I said to myself, man, I really want to tell people the story of what happened today. Because I was up 5 or 4 or whatever it was going into last night's game, and I had all of my players had played, but my opponent, Mr. Seeley, had Romeo Doubs. Now, Romeo Doubs, if you are tied into fantasy, has gone for at least 10 every single week. I thought it was over unless he somehow got injured, and I will never, ever root for an injury. So I thought it was over. He had 1 catch for 4 yards, and I won it. And I was like, man, I really want to tell the people about this. And then I was thinking, well, if I want to tell the people about this, I know they're going to want to tell other people about their own teams. So what I want to do is please let this video be seen and send me on Twitter your fantasy football. Okay, send me your matchup for the week, like your results. I will showcase those on Tuesdays moving forward. Follow me on Twitter, and I will be putting out what the hashtag I want you guys to use is. Be sure to tag me, all that stuff. I'm small enough that it doesn't really matter, right? I'm going to see all of the tags. Please do that because I really want to showcase what people are going through in fantasy. It's a lot of people want to share what they are going through, and I know for a fact some of you won by 1/10 of a point out there. Some of you won by 100th of a point. Some of you won by 1,000 points. There's some weird leagues out there. So, with all that being said, that's what I really wanted to get off my chest. I really want you guys to start sharing your fantasy teams with me, your fantasy results. I'll put my Twitter, obviously it's in the description. I'll put it up there for a second. And then tweet at me. I'm going to follow me because I'm going to put the handle or the hashtag on there. And that's what I want you guys to put on there with it. And I'll just put it right here and I will talk about it on the show. You will get a live shout out essentially. So you get something out of it. I get some more content to talk about. But with that being said, we got through our Monday night preview. I talked about the fantasy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now you know what time it is. It is time for Trivia Tuesdays. And this one I'm very, very excited about because not only is it trivia, it's fun, but unlike last week when it got harder because it was more specific and it was longer ago, it went further back in time. That's boring. No one knows that stuff from 1940. I don't blame you for getting those wrong. This week, we're going to make you smarter, okay? The questions are based around making you more knowledgeable in the game of football. So, if you are a guy or a girl and your significant other comes with you to football games and is confused by what's going on, is asking you questions all the time. Maybe you're at a watch party or maybe you're actually in the stadium. I don't know what's going on, but if they don't know what's going on either, this is the perfect video for them. So pause it, show them, share it with them. Sharing it with them would be way more clutch on my end, but whatever you got to do, show them this video. It's going to help them learn the game of football a little bit more, all right? How does trivia work? Well, I'll tell you. Basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you a question. It's going to show up next to me. I'm going to wait 5 to 7 seconds, hopefully about the exact same time every time. If you can't answer in time, feel free to pause. Then I will tell you the answer, and we'll move forward. There will be 16 questions. 5 questions in the easy category worth 1 point each. 5 questions in the medium category worth 5 points each. And 5 questions in the hard category worth 10 points each. Now, all 15 of those total up to 80 points. And there will be one extremely difficult question worth 20 points. With that all worth 100, the giveaway I'd like to run is essentially if you can get over 80. No, let's do Let's do over 70. That's a C. If you can get a C, if you can get over 70, let's go. I'm excited. And put it in the comments below. Put it, tweet at me, whatever you got to do, and I'll send you a sticker. Look at that. It's not worth much, but it's worth more than nothing. So there's that. I just figured we've got them laying around, and I kind of want you guys that watch these videos to have, some Marv on Air stuff. So if you don't want to comment it, it's not that big a deal, but just figured I'd put it out there. Let's get it started with question number 1. What position is pictured here with the arrow? It's the arrows pointing right at it, all right? Go. If you said quarterback, you would have got that one, okay? I know that was a bit awkward with the way I kind of led into that question, but I just wanted to make sure it was abundantly clear when I pointed at it. That was the position I was referring to. If you got that one right, you got a point. If you didn't, there's still plenty of time. Second question. What is it called when the quarterback changes the play at the line of scrimmage? If you said audible, you would be correct. If you got both, you're at 2. If you got 1, you're at 1. You understand the premise at this point, probably. Third question. What area of the field is pictured here in red? If you said the red zone, you would be correct. Helped you out a little bit with that shading color there. Fourth question. How many tries does a team get to try to get to the first down? If you said 4, you would be correct. And the final question in the easy category is, name one way the offense can score. If you said touchdown, field goal, point after touchdown, 2-point conversion, you would be correct. I don't know if there are more. I would assume there are probably some very, very obscure ones, but I'm going to go with those 4. If you got one of those 4, bingo. Correcto mungo. And now we move to the medium categories. So these are going to be a little bit harder. They're worth 5 points a pop. If you got all of the easy questions, you're at 5. You're going to be looking to get to 10 here. First question. How many feet are required to be down to complete a catch in college? If you said 1, you would be correct. Most people think of the NFL when they think of completing a catch. In the NFL, it is required that you get 2 feet down. In the college level, it's a little bit easier. You only need 1 foot. Now, moving to question number 2. What is it generally called when a linebacker rushes the quarterback? If you said a blitz, you would be correct. You can get a little bit more nuance in there if you had a much more detailed answer. Again, I'll give you the points. But in general, when a linebacker is attacking the quarterback, it's a blitz. Question number 3. What is the consequence of offensive holding in the NFL? If you said a 10-yard penalty or half the distance to the goal line, replay the down, you would be correct. I don't require you to get the half the distance to the goal line. It's just a nuance as you get closer to your own end zone. Now, all right, now you're kind of getting the gauge on the mediums here. Let's go to question number 4. Name one way the defense can score. If you said pick 6, fumble return, safety, blocked field goal for touchdown, blocked punt return for touchdown, you would be correct. I think those are all of the, I think I came up with all of them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If there's more, comment it below. I'd love to hear about them. I just can't think of, that was what I came up with in this prep. All right. Question number 5. What are these marks on the field called as noted by the arrow? If you said hash marks, you would be correct. All right, and if you got every medium category question correct, if you got every easy category question correct, you would currently be at 30 points, right? Then, yeah, so 30 points total right now. And then we have 5 hard questions. If you're able to get all 5 of these right, you'll be at 80. You get the point. First question, with how much time left on the play clock can the QB no longer hear their coach? If you said 15 seconds, you would be correct. Or as according to Google, I sure hope. At last week with ChatGPT, they kind of screwed me. So as far as I'm aware, it is 15 seconds is the cutoff. Second question, if the ball is kicked out of bounds on the kickoff, where does the receiving team get the ball? If you said on their own 40, you would be correct. It is a penalty to kick the ball directly out of bounds on a kickoff. Question number 3. True or false? The QB can punt the ball on any down. True. If you said true, that is correct. It actually could be any player can punt the ball on any down. It is considered a turnover, just handing it over to the other team. Now you might be asking, why would they do this? Because honestly, the team that's going to be receiving the ball wouldn't expect it. They wouldn't have a returner back there, so generally they're not going to return the ball if the QB can get over the safety. And it can generally roll a little bit further. Because it's not returned, it'll roll. It doesn't need to be a perfect punt. Question number 4. What defensive scheme is shown in this picture? If you said cover 2, you would be correct. That one's a little bit tricky, but we're getting to the end of the end of the questions here, so that's going to happen. I'm sorry. And question number 5 in the hard category. As of 2023, per the NFL handbook, what numbers are linebackers allowed to wear? If you said 0 to 59 and also 90 to 99, you would be correct. Both of those clumps of numbers do work. Okay, moving to our impossible question of the day. If you have gotten everything right so far, you're at 80. Props. I'm going to be sending you a sticker as long as you give me the chance. If you haven't gotten them all right, that's totally fine. But you have a chance to get a huge lump sum here on this final question. Is it possible for a team to kick a field goal attempt with no defensive rush or a snap? If you said it is in fact possible, you get 20 points. Now, this is an extremely rare circumstance, but if a team fair catches a ball and then elects to kick the ball, I don't know the exact rules here, so I'm going to try to get this right. But if a team fair catches a punt, elects to, or kick, I believe, and elects to kick that ball, it will be placed and no defender can be within 10 yards of the ball. They get an attempt to kick it. This can also happen with 0 time left on the clock, so it's pretty forgiving, actually. It's almost never going to happen considering what punters can do now, but if they were to shank one, this is entirely possible. Interesting, something to look out for. I don't know if it's ever happened, but it is a weird rule in the NFL rulebook. If you love these Trivia Tuesdays, be sure to leave this video with a like, give it a subscribe if you're really, dedicated, if you can feel so inclined. But with that being said, that wraps up our Tuesday episode. Tomorrow is Wednesday. You know what that means. We're going to be doing our picks. Me, Redden, Cole, all the guys picking against the spread, picking out our best bets for the week. You'll get to see our recap from last week, and I cannot be more excited to get this studio full yet again. If you haven't seen our college football preview, yes, that week is over, but I highly, highly recommend watching it. With that being said, I can't wait to see you guys the rest of the week. Thank you for watching, and deuces.